minute with John Wilcock. It's a long time since I visited the Hearst Castle, and I thought as I was coming north would be a good opportunity to see it once again. It is kind of magnificent. We take a bus up to the castle itself.
His little something became this estate of more than 165 rooms. And he chose to build it on the hill which had served as his family's original campsite. Julia Morgan's first challenges were to make a road from the old bridle path, and also to bring water from the natural springs that were located on a mountain almost 6 miles east of this hilltop. To this day, water provided to the estate comes from the same 1.5 million gallon reservoir built by Miss Morgan and Mr. Hearst in the 1930s. Some of it with the cattle. Keep watching.
It's a long bus ride up the hill. Climbs 1,600 feet. Comes on a winding road that once was the path that Hearst used to ride on horseback. A few details. George Hearst, Randolph's father, bought the estate in 1865. It eventually became 250,000 acres, and William Randolph, when he inherited it in 1919, proceeded to hire Julia Morgan to design the house. It took 26 years. Statues all over, and lots of little lions. Everything's very symmetrical. A lot of steps down at that side. And a lot of steps. We climbed up at this side.
He got a degree in civil engineering on a scholarship from his mom. His mom wanted to go camping in tents. I would like to build a little something up on Camp Hill, and it should take about 3 years. Project 503 for Julia Morgan. It was going to be no more than that house. That's his idea of a little built from the ground up. 28 years he worked on this, and it was still never finished. He just had a good time creating it and entertaining people here.
We're going into the grand house.
Take it all in.
Not very light in here, so I had my intro on. Now,
It's teakwood and it's camber. They're set perpendicular to each other, and it has that little bit of a curve. That's so the banana wing gets a little lift really be soon. Comes up all this, by the way. He was fascinated by the technology, like playing Monopoly on the card table, ping pong or poker over here, and you're hanging out with people like H.G. Wells, the Orville Rose in the Time Machine, Charles Lindbergh, first person to fly across the Atlantic. Enjoy the company they're hosting.
ceiling panels all carved. Very intricate. And dozens of them.
There was actually not a law, but there was a regulation. Auction house reserved.
And leading off that, the dining room with the huge table. Flags all around, much lighter than the other room. Legendarily had pots of mustard and ketchup bottles on the table. This place is so popular that the bus tours run every 10 minutes. Don't know what these particular flags are actually.
Who became very, very involved in New York high society. He didn't even want to stop.
Bit like the paleo, that race in Italy. All the flags for the different entrance.
He didn't like New York in particular, and he was building his publishing empire. He's married, he's ready to dance.
Both rooms aligned with these seats, which probably came from churches.
One, picture it as partially hard-packed gravel, partially paved, partially the old stagecoach trails and cattle drive trail.
500-year-old Belgian tapestry.
Now we'll always know what's the original feeling and what's the extension. The extension will always be dirty, and this will always be clean. This is all the original feeling.
The theatre where the guests had movies every night.
Man, we've been talking about Willie Randolph Hearst is there, looking proud, and the woman on his arm was an actress that was his friend Mary Davies. Her name was Marie Dressler, and she is not known for having good fashion sense, obviously, but she's trying to get a laugh. And here's Mary Davies. This is the sitter girl. Also known as
I'm about to show you the tennis courts. We've just done a tour of the castle. Larry Adler, who was a big name dropper, told me a funny story once. Said that he was a guest here at the castle, and somebody grabbed him and said would he make up a foursome to play tennis, and the others were Charlie Chaplin, Salvador Dali and Marlene Dietrich. I think he agreed. Anyway, here are the tennis courts. Not terribly glamorous. Must have a lot of gardeners here. It's very attractive. There's flowers all over the place. Anyway, everybody talks about the Roman pool. That's the last stop. There's buses always arriving and leaving. They have a commentary on the bus coming up by Alice Trebek, and the thing I remember most is you got to dump your chewing gum when you get out of the bus. Here's the pool, which is the one thing most people remember. Huge pool. Varies from 3 to 10 feet deep, decorated on the bottom, long before Hockney thought of it. Marble steps to descend into the pool. I distinctly remember there was another pool which is not on the tour, so I'm going in search of it. Here's the back of the house and a better view. Plenty of flowers, as I said. Even the marble benches are quite elaborate. Yeah, this is the one I remembered. Quite sensational. An outdoor pool. Wow. Wow, I'd love to dive in that, but anyway, there we go.